It's Wednesday, April 15th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, a break at the pumps. The feds shelve part of the gas tax until Labor Day. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And the state of arthritis in Canada. We'll chat with the folks from the Arthritis Society Canada about their new report card and the plan to end the debilitating and painful condition.
And getting ready for outdoor living season. Crystal will visit our partners at Kent to check out furniture, barbecues, and so much more to get patio ready. All that and so much more just ahead on the Wednesday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Well, come on in. Good morning. Almost 6:01 on this Wednesday, April 15th. Mid-month already, people. Woohoo! We're already here. Gosh.
So nice, and I'm loving that we're talking about outdoor patios.
Well, yesterday was so beautiful in many parts of our region. I didn't make it to Shelburne, as I'd hoped.
Oh,
yeah,
but
rats.
it was plenty nice where I was in the Halifax area. And yeah, it was gorgeous to feel that sun.
It was.
What did you do? Did you do anything
nice.
with it?
I ran outside in shorts.
Yippee-doo, me too. Same.
Yes.
What about you?
We went for a good long walk, and then we took the kids to the park for the first time.
What?
Yeah, the first time ever, they were loving the slide. And not the slide, actually. They were loving the swings, but the slide, yeah.
It's their first time ever to a playground before?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Next time, invite me. I love playgrounds.
Absolutely. I was on the swing, too. I was like,
for sure. Okay, I'm here in our region, raindrops already outside. It's a much different day today.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. We've seen colder air move back in across the region. Today only, though. We'll start to see those temperatures warm back up Thursday into Friday to end off the work week. But today, yes, cooler and a wet day ahead. And we will be seeing that wet weather sticking around over the next couple of days. As you can see here, yeah.
We need a little windshield wiper here on our live line for Fredericton.
Absolutely. So make sure to have your rain gear handy when heading out today. As of right now, it is 8 degrees over in Fredericton. Temperatures will rise, but still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs. 6 degrees right now in Charlottetown and in Halifax, 1 in Sydney, -1 heading outdoors in St. John's, Newfoundland. Much colder today in Labrador City at -24. Here's a look at the wind chill factoring in for both Newfoundland and Labrador this morning. We are going to see temperatures rise, as I mentioned, but remaining below seasonal. So we do have that wet weather tracking across all 3 maritime provinces today. Rain will transition over to a chance of showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. Newfoundland and Labrador going to see some active weather as well in the forecast. Something to keep in mind when you are heading out there as well. In terms of the wind, it's going to be a bit breezy today. As of right now, 28 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 24 in St. John, New Brunswick, 20 into Greenwood and Halifax. Wind gusts getting up to 33 kilometers per hour in Yarmouth and 30 in Greenwood. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Canadians can expect some relief when they fill up on gas next week.
This is a big decision in terms of fiscal expense, and so we balance that given the situation.
The Liberal government has announced that starting Monday, it will suspend the excise fuel tax on gas and diesel until Labor Day to ease rising energy costs. Aviation fuel is also included. The $2.4 billion measure will save Canadians 10 cents per litre on regular gas and 4 cents a litre on diesel. Here's what Maritimers have to say.
That's why I got $15 today. Usually I fill it. Well, I don't like paying it because when you pay that much for your fuel, you're taking from something else, either groceries or another bill of some sort.
This could be particularly impactful for some of our members who are small and mid-sized carriers who operate on very thin margins, helps with cash flow, and helps companies just manage the ongoing volatility in fuel pricing.
It's all in response to the war in the Middle East, where oil shipments along the Strait of Hormuz have largely been at a standstill. Police in Amherst have identified the man who was shot and killed outside a homeless shelter Monday night. 41-year-old Christopher Leggett of Amherst was walking on Prince Arthur Street when a dark-colored SUV pulled up behind him. He was shot once in the lower back and was later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. The suspects are still at large, but police don't believe there's any threat to the public.
This was very clearly a targeted incident where people knew each other. The victim knew his attackers and vice versa.
The shooting happened outside a homeless shelter, but its administration says staff and those staying there were not involved in the incident. Two 15-year-old hockey players were arraigned in a Nova Scotia courtroom Tuesday on sexual assault charges relating to a hazing investigation in the Truro area. RCMP have said a teenager came forward January 30th reporting an assault during a private team gathering last fall. They said the team is from the Truro area and there are 3 alleged victims.
These are very serious charges, and the Public Prosecution Service is taking this case, as we do all cases of sexual violence, seriously.
No pleas were entered yesterday. The case was adjourned until May 25th. PEI's finance minister has tabled a record deficit budget for the second year in a row. Jill Burridge introduced the 2026-27 budget in Charlottetown yesterday with a $410 million deficit, the largest in provincial history. It's more than double the $184 million deficit the PC government introduced last spring. The budget includes $269 million in new spending and contains about $321 million in measures designed to help islanders with affordability. The price of electricity is now higher in New Brunswick. Power rates went up nearly 4.3% Tuesday. The Energy Board settled on that amount after considering a larger hike NB Power had requested.
NBA calling for a rebate program to help people who are on low and moderate incomes. We have to make people's voices heard who often think their voices are not heard. So we have to keep going and we have to keep campaigning.
NB Power says the utility needed a rate increase in part to address unexpected shutdown costs at Point Lepreau. Finally, a sizable portion of the Halifax waterfront, including the airspace above it, is off limits to the public for the next 10 days. Military officials say the restrictions are in effect near McNabbs Island. That's in the vicinity of Lower Shearwater, although they didn't specifically say why. A news release says, quote, the purpose of these buffer zones is to protect the safety and security of Royal Canadian Navy ships and visiting forces, vessels as well as D&D facilities and defense team personnel who operate within these zones. That's the release. The airspace restrictions, they're in place for remotely piloted drones as well. And that order is in place until 9 p.m. April 24th. So keep that in mind if you are in the Shearwater, Nova Scotia area.
Yeah, good to know. Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah, and that's your first look at your news headlines.
Thank you very much. That's happening in our region.
Yes.
Let's zip over to Paris, shall we? The Louvre is launching a new exhibition that will see sculptures by 2 famous artists side by side. Now, the exhibition is meant to examine the works of Michelangelo and Rodin. It's called Living Bodies and includes more than 200 works that showcase their shared vision of the human form. Now, Michelangelo and Rodin are separated by nearly 4 centuries, but they're both considered pivotal figures in the evolution of sculpting. Wouldn't that be neat?
Very cool.
I would love to see it.
Ooh.
It's really cool to see. I've been to exhibits, and I haven't been to this one because it's brand new, but an exhibit that showed how sculpting the body changed through time, and just showing how crude it was at first, and then we'd get to these very, very detailed depictions. Remember, that's chiseled out of stone.
Wow.
That is not 3D printed.
That is incredible.
It is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Many people hoping for those gains at the gym.
For real,
Chiseled
though.
like stone.
Yeah, it takes a long time, whether you're chiseling it with the actual chisel or you're pumping the iron.
Exactly.
Believe me, it takes a long time.
Yeah. Okay, we still have your national and international news on this Wednesday morning, and Latavia has the latest look at the very wet forecast. As she mentioned, a dip in temperature for today. It's brief, though, but boy, is it ever wet. Good morning to our viewers in St. John's, Newfoundland. We'll be right back after this.
Good morning, Atlantic, Canada, and happy Wednesday. The time now is 6:12. We're taking a live look at Antigonish. Currently 8 degrees as you head outdoors. A wet start to the day. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. Seeing rain early this morning will taper off to a chance of showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. So we are seeing a cool down across the region early this morning. Temperatures will rise, but remaining below seasonal for much of our daytime highs today. 8 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, 6 in both Charlottetown and Halifax, 1 degree in Sydney, and a -1 in St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. We are seeing a bit of flurry activity early this morning, so a chance of flurries for parts of Newfoundland, and that will start to clear out, leaving a bit of sunshine for parts of the province. We are going to see sunshine across much of Labrador today. And then for the Maritime region, we have this system tracking across all 3 Maritime provinces. Rain early in the morning will start to taper off, becoming a chance of showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. So parts of the region will see shower activity into the overnight hours. Others will see cloudy skies, and we are expecting temperatures to drop yet again tonight, remaining above the freezing mark for many communities. But into Thursday's forecast, we are going to see temperatures rise yet again, remaining seasonal for our daytime highs. If you're wondering about rainfall totals, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters of additional precipitation for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, not seeing any accumulation for Newfoundland and Labrador. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, rain starts off the day, transitions over to a chance of showers and or flurries. Daytime highs cooler today, but still reaching double digits for parts of the province. Daytime highs will range from 4 to 12 degrees today. Prince Edward Island looking at rain starting off the day, transitioning over to showers and or drizzle. Daytime highs between 4 to 9 degrees, wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. We're looking at shower activity starting off the day, clearing out into the mid to late afternoon, leaving mainly cloudy skies with daytime highs between 3 to 10. For the rest of Nova Scotia, rain early in the morning, tapering off to showers and or drizzle for the remainder of the day. Daytime highs between 7 to 14 degrees, being the warmest into Shelburne. Wind gusts of 40 as well. And then for Labrador City, lots of sunshine throughout the day today. A high of 4 degrees, 2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have flurries starting off the day, transitioning over to drizzle into the afternoon. For Thursday's forecast, it will be another wet day ahead. We do have showers for parts of the Maritime region, increasing into the overnight hours for Thursday. Newfoundland, Labrador seeing a bit of flurry activity and or showers will continue to move in. Friday's forecast, another wet day ahead as we have a low chance of shower activity expected for the Maritime region. Flurries across much of Labrador and Newfoundland looking at flurries and or showers. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. As mentioned, the Prime Minister has revealed a new short-term measure to help with the cost of filling the fuel tank. CTV's Abigail Beeman has more on when the new move kicks in and why some say it's not enough.
In Nova Scotia, a gas tax cut means so much to this senior's fixed income, he's holding off at the pump.
That's why I got $15 today. Usually I fill it with.
Fresh off 3 by-election wins, Mark Carney's first act as leader of a now majority government, suspending the federal gas excise tax at a cost of $2.4 billion.
This is a big decision in terms of fiscal expense, and so we balance that given the situation.
Starting Monday, the price at the pumps will drop by 10 cents until Labor Day. 4 cents for diesel. Aviation fuel is included too.
Not good enough.
The Conservatives have long been pushing for broader relief in the face of a massive price hike caused by the war in Iran.
Canadians cannot afford to gas their tanks. We want all gas taxes eliminated for the rest of the year to save Canadian families $1,200.
While many Canadians across the country tell us every cent counts.
It's disgusting. Poor people that need their cars to go to work every day or bring their kids to nursery. It's not fair.
Even just like when your car is at a red light for too long, you're like, oh my goodness, my gas is running out.
Well, bravo to Mark Carney. I think it's good, but I think it should be fair all the time.
Sounds like a political game to me. I don't think it's really going to make a big difference. I think we need a long-term solution.
One expert says to get long-term lower prices, you need to lower demand, which means keeping prices high.
But the federal government has decided to go take the easy route and waved a 10-cent drop in front of the electorate. And good luck with that.
Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
New data reveals the wage gap between men and women is slowly closing, but the average woman still makes a lot less than the average man did in 2025. CTV's Heather Wright has more.
Equal! Equal! Today is the 104th day of 2026, a day that marks the extra time the average woman needs to work to earn as much as the average man.
We're here today because we believe in equal pay, simply put.
At a rally in downtown Toronto, members of the Ontario Equal Pay Coalition called on the government to do more to close the gender pay gap, specifically when it comes to the care economy, jobs that are typically held by women, including nurses, personal support workers, and educators.
We're still not giving childcare people what they need. The educators can't come today, so that's why I came.
In addition to calls for higher wages, the group also wants the Ontario government to deliver on its promise of $10 a day childcare. The federal government had set an April 2026 deadline of reaching that threshold. And while Newfoundland and Labrador, Prince Edward Island, Quebec, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut have all met the $10 a day target, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia have not. The group says unaffordable childcare disproportionately burdens women.
There is no work without care work. No one can go to work if their children, their elders are not cared for.
According to Statistics Canada, women aged 25 to 54 earned 89 cents for every dollar earned by men in 2025, up from 81 cents in 1997. And while that pay gap has slowly shrunk over time, another one is growing. The gap between Canada's richest and poorest grew last year, driven in part by a weak job market and slow wage growth.
Statistics Canada says the high cost of living and economic uncertainty are impacting a large portion of the country, with nearly 3/4 of Canadians saying the rising price of essentials is straining their finances. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Finally, NASA is sharing new images of the joyous moment the Artemis 2 capsule was first opened after the successful splashdown last Friday.
Say it. Yes! Let's go!
As fresh air flooded the capsule for the first time in nearly 10 days, cheers are heard from both the astronauts inside and the recovery crew. The space travelers were then welcomed home with enthusiastic handshakes. The celebrations came moments after the capsule streaked back to Earth at a stunning speed before parachuting softly to what NASA called a bullseye landing. Another break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have your business headlines plus your must-see moment from TSN. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
A huge day for people with diabetes.
I'm surprised it's been around that long.
I know. Well, and it's still very relevant and important today. All right, it is now 6:23 and time to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hey there, Lindsay Hamilton inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. We're taking a trip to the NBA play-in for this one. It's the Hornets and Heat. 9-10 winner-go-home game in the East. 9 seconds of overtime here. Charlotte down by 1. LaMelo Ball drives, gets the bucket to fall for the lead. Davion Mitchell takes it back the other way, tries and win it for the Heat. Denied by Miles Bridges at the buzzer. So Charlotte hangs on to take a wild game. The Hornets eliminating the Heat, and that right there, definitely worthy of your must-see moment. Meanwhile, tonight on TSN, we've got more NBA play-in action for you. The Magic taking on the 76ers. It all begins 7:30 Eastern on TSN 1 and 4. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
Now over to your business headlines from our colleagues at BNN.
The suspension of the gas tax will cost Ottawa about $2.5 billion. Canadians are paying an average of 27% more at the pump now than before the conflict with Iran. Getting rid of the excise tax will save drivers 10 cents a litre on regular gas and 4 cents on diesel. Even jet fuel will be discounted. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up to 72.62. West Texas Intermediate is down over $7 to 91.97. Western Canadian Select is up over $2 to 75.02. And the TSX gained 223 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast, starting off in New Brunswick, a high of 10 degrees today. We have isolated showers and/or flurries. 9 degrees on Thursday with showers continuing across the province and a wet day ahead on Friday, warming up, though, to 16 degrees. For Nova Scotia, 7 degrees today. Showers and/or drizzle starts off the day. We are going to see it taper off into the afternoon. On Thursday, another wet day ahead. Daytime high remains at 7. 11 degrees on Friday with showers across the province. For Prince Edward Island, 7 degrees today. Rain starts off the day, transitions over to showers and/or drizzle. Mainly cloudy skies on Thursday with evening showers and a high of 9. 9 degrees on Friday and another wet day ahead.
Still to come in this half hour, the Move Morning Chat. Today we're talking about school and something you had in your school that might be a clue to how old you are. That's in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Let us be the first to say good morning to you if you are just waking up. It is Wednesday, April 15th, midway through April, and we are getting the April showers today.
Yeah.
That's all right, though. Good for the tulips, I hope. I can't wait for the tulips to pop out.
Yeah, I was
good.
Yesterday walking Zoe and Chico. I noticed how green the grass is getting. Like really green and lush already. It's amazing how quickly that happens.
That's the thing, right? Like for us, we want the sunshine, the warm temperatures to get out and about, but we do need the precipitation.
Yeah.
We don't want it to be too dry within spring so that when summer comes, we don't have those fires, right? Across the
wildfires.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, what can you do?
It is what makes the grass green. And I did see not only a lot of people just enjoying the weather, a lot of people doing yard work.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Like getting rid of all the debris. And, oh, it's so much work, but so rewarding when it's done.
Yeah, I didn't work. I played.
Me too.
Eventually we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll all get there when we're ready.
Yeah, I'm going to follow my husband's lead. I'm like, he's good at the yard work. Me, I don't know if I'm good at it. I tolerate it.
Yeah, basically. Well, as you can see from our live eye in Halifax, we are experiencing rain early on this morning. Something to keep in mind when you are heading out. A cooler start to the day, but still remaining above the freezing mark for many areas. As of right now, 7 degrees in Halifax, 1 in Sydney, 6 in Charlottetown, with 8 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton. Much colder start to the day in Labrador City at -25 and -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Seeing the wind chill factor in both Newfoundland and Labrador early on this morning, but temperatures expected to rise there a little bit later on as well. Starting off this morning, we do have a bit of mixed precipitation for parts of Newfoundland. Other than that, seeing rain for parts of all 3 maritime provinces early this morning. We'll start to taper off to a chance of showers and/or drizzle into the afternoon. In terms of the wind, it will be a bit of a breezy day ahead. As of right now, 22 kilometers per hour in St. John, New Brunswick, 20 in Halifax with 17 into North Cape and Greenwood. Wind gusts getting up to 39 kilometers per hour in St. John, 31 in Halifax, 30 in Greenwood. We'll take another look at your midweek forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Time is 6:32. Canadians can expect some relief when they fill up on gas next week.
This is a big decision in terms of fiscal expense, and so we balance that given the situation.
The Liberal government has announced that beginning Monday, it will suspend the excise fuel tax on gas and diesel until Labor Day to ease rising energy costs. Aviation fuel is also included. The $2.4 billion measure will save Canadians 10 cents per litre on regular gas and 4 cents a litre on diesel. Here's what Maritimers had to say.
That's why I got $15 today. Usually I fill it. Well, I don't like paying it because when you pay that much for your fuel, you're taking from something else, either groceries or another bill of some sort.
This could be particularly impactful for some of our members who are small and mid-sized carriers who operate on very thin margins, helps with cash flow, and helps companies just manage the ongoing volatility in fuel pricing.
And it is all in response to the war in the Middle East, where oil shipments along the Strait of Hormuz have largely been at a standstill. Police in Amherst have identified the man who was shot and killed outside a homeless shelter Monday night. 41-year-old Christopher Leggett of Amherst was walking on Prince Arthur Street when a dark-colored SUV pulled up behind him. He was shot once in the lower back and was later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. The suspects are still at large, but police don't believe there's any threat to the public.
This was very clearly a targeted incident where people knew each other. The victim knew his attackers and vice versa.
The shooting happened outside a homeless shelter, but its administration says staff and those staying there were not involved in the incident. The price of electricity is now higher in New Brunswick. Power rates went up nearly 4.3% Tuesday. The Energy Board settled on that amount after considering a larger hike NB Power had requested.
NBA are calling for a rebate program to help people who are on low and moderate incomes. We have to make people's voices heard who often think their voices are not heard. So we have to keep going and we have to keep campaigning.
NB Power says the utility needed a rate increase in part to address unexpected shutdown costs at Point Lepreau. PEI's finance minister has tabled a record deficit budget for the second year in a row. Jill Burridge introduced the 2026-27 budget in Charlottetown yesterday with a $410 million deficit, the largest in provincial history. It's more than double the $184 million deficit the PC government introduced last spring. The budget includes $269 million in new spending and contains about $321 million in measures designed to help islanders with affordability. Cape Breton regional councillors are raising questions about the sale of a piece of land off Sydney Harbour. They believe the transaction took place without their knowledge. The land in question is a piece of wharf property in Sydport Industrial Park. Councillor Erlene McMullen said she found out recently it had been sold in late March to a company now owned by controversial port development promoter Albert Barbusi. Mayor Cecil Clark was asked for his response to a number of councillors who spoke out Tuesday proclaiming they've been left in the dark.
That's a question for the CAO. The transactions themselves are the responsibility of the CAO and senior management. From a legislative point of view, there are agreements that are put in place. We deal with hundreds of documents that come through the mayor's office that council would have dealt with in the past. This is no different in terms of a transaction. It was a legal option that was triggered with regards to a purchase option. And again, that falls back to administration.
There is no word on the purchase price. McMullen and other councillors insist they should have known about the sale before the municipal budget, which was approved on March 26. Finally, the Professional Women's Hockey League is approaching an attendance milestone in its third season.
Clark's getting a helpful hand here. Salva Lynam, the woman of the night.
The league sits just shy of 1 million fans at games for the first time, with total attendance entering this week surpassing 975,000 attendees. The latest boost came with a sold-out crowd of almost 18,000 fans for the first PWHL game at Boston's TD Garden. The league is averaging more than 9,200 fans a game, up nearly 29% from the previous season.
Oh, great.
We're just seeing growth after growth.
Yep, glad to hear it.
Would love to see PWHL Takeover Tour again happen in Halifax. Remember, there were 2 games in January, and then there was one in December here in Halifax at the Scotiabank Centre. And like the fanfare for those games around here was huge.
Yeah, very much appreciated and fabulous energy. Oh, yeah. Okay, with the high price of fuel these days, people are going for electric vehicles.
Yeah.
This would not be a budget option. Okay, this is the Rolls-Royce unveiling its luxury EV, ultra luxury. Here it is. She pretty. The car is being called Project Nightingale, and only 100 are being made. They're very luxurious. They're very exclusive. At this point, they're not sharing how much this two-seater convertible will cost, but you can probably guess it'll be a lot. It's lovely.
It's beautiful. Nightingale, yeah.
Cool. Cool name.
I don't hazard to guess how much things for the cost. I have no idea what cars cost. I'm going to say $250,000 Canadian. What do you think?
A $250,000 is what I was thinking too. But the fact that they're only making so few of them.
That's true.
Could it be half a mil?
I like the finishes on the inside.
I
the
know,
front,
gorgeous.
Not so much, but the inside.
I like the back and the inside.
Yeah.
The interior.
Yeah.
And the color.
Yeah. All right. Rolls-Royce. We could roll up to the station in that at early morning hours.
Could you imagine?
Not today, though.
No.
Saw so many convertibles out yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Leather, motorcycles, too. Before we know it, we're going to start seeing the antique cars.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Show
gonna
and
be so
shine. I love
cool.
them.
Yeah. All right, still ahead, we have your entertainment headlines on this Wednesday morning. But next, we're going to pull up to the Move Morning Chat. Today, we want to know, without saying your age, what's something you had at school that would date you? That conversation is up next.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 6:42. Taking a live look at Brookvale. 7 degrees starting off your day. We do expect showers early this morning. We'll taper off to a chance of showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. We are seeing wet weather for much of the Maritime region, at least as of right now. 8 degrees as you head outdoors in Fredericton. 6 starting off your day in Charlottetown. 7 in Halifax. 1 degree in Sydney. -1 in St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. We are going to see lots of sunshine across Labrador today. And then we do have some flurry activity early this morning, a risk of freezing rain, and also going to see some drizzle into Newfoundland. For the Maritime region, starting off with some rain. For all 3 Maritime provinces, we'll taper off to a chance of showers and or drizzle as we head towards this afternoon. Some areas across the Maritime region will see some clearing, but still leaving mainly cloudy skies. Into tonight, temperatures drop back down, so it's going to be a cool night ahead, still remaining above the freezing mark for many communities. But we do also have precipitation tracking across parts of the region. Another wet day is in store for Thursday's forecast. If you're wondering about rainfall totals, only seeing an additional 2 to 5 millimeters across parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, not seeing any accumulation for Newfoundland and Labrador. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at showers and or flurries across the province. Daytime highs will range from 4 to 12 degrees. Wind out of the east, 20 gusting to 40 kilometers per hour. And then for Prince Edward Island, looking at highs between 4 to 9. We do have showers and or drizzle across the island today. Wind gusts picking up to 40 kilometers per hour. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, showers start off the day, but will clear for parts of this part of the province, leaving mainly cloudy skies. We do have a bit of flurry activity as well for Shetticamp. We are going to see daytime highs around 3 to 10. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at rain starting off the day, transitioning over to showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. Daytime highs between 7 to 14 degrees. And then for Labrador City, actually seeing lots of sunshine, a high 4 degrees today. 2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, starting off with flurries, transitioning over to drizzle into the afternoon. Thursday's forecast, temperatures start to warm up, become seasonal for our daytime highs. We do have that wet weather, though, for all 3 Maritime provinces, sticking around into the evening hours as well. Newfoundland, Labrador, looking at some flurry activity, flurries and or showers for Newfoundland. To end off the work week, temperatures warm up yet again, above seasonal for parts of the region. We will be seeing some sunny breaks, but also holding on to some shower activity. Sunshine expected into the weekend, though. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to the Move Morning Chat.
It's the Move Morning Chat with Aaron and Peter. We're going to keep this school theme going. We're going to find out, without revealing your age, what is something from school that dates you? I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say about this one.
Okay, can I start? I would like to start.
Yes.
I'm going to give you a word that will immediately date me. It could be a word that, well, the 3 of you, the other 3 in this conversation, have never heard before. Dustbin.
Oh! know what that
to you?
is. Tell us.
There
I
you
do.
go.
Tell us all about it, Peter.
Dustbane. Yeah, that's the word from school that automatically dates me for sure. For anyone who hasn't heard of Dustbane. It was around, well, actually the company is still around. It's a company name. But specifically when I'm talking about Dustbane, I'm talking about the stuff that the caretakers, the janitors in our school threw on the floor at the end of the day when they were sweeping up. It kind of kept the dust down, and they would go around and sweep it up later. It was green. It was almost like sawdust.
Yeah.
And it was used, and it had a mint smell.
Yeah.
But you could tell when the caretakers had already swept up in the school because everything smelled minty, and there might be just a little bit of that green sawdust still on the floor in the corners somewhere. Dustbane was something that was used, I think, in every school. I'm talking 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know for how far into the 80s it was used, but that was a thing that's definitely going to date me automatically.
Wow, I have no idea what you're talking about. Never even heard that in my life. I have to do some research after this. I was thinking about what comes to mind for me when I think back to my school years, and I don't know what this says about me, but I immediately think of elementary school and the giant gym parachute. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I want those to have. Oh my gosh, love that.
Was the best. Get me out of math class, get me out of science class, and I didn't like gym that much either. Surprise, surprise. However, the feeling of walking into a gym and seeing that giant parachute on the ground, I don't know what made it so epic, but you kind of fly it up in the air and then everyone gets underneath and sits on it and it's kind of dark in there and you're playing games. Oh, it was the best, and it immediately makes me think of elementary.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually looked that up. I think you can get it for like 20 bucks, one of those, like maybe a cheap one, but I love that.
Oh my gosh.
The going inside was the best part for sure.
The best part, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For me, I probably bit between Peter and you guys. For me, it is the Queen. We had a beautiful portrait of the young Queen in our classroom when I was in elementary school, and we actually sang God Save the Queen in class as part of our morning exercises, and I'm telling you, I loved belting out God Save the Queen. The Queen, she was just so like, especially the portraits that we had in our school. It was like this beautiful, I found one to show kind of the vibe.
Yes.
Like it was like a little like escape to like a more glamorous time when we had to do our Queen moment at school.
In honor of Queen Elizabeth II.
Yes.
All right, mine is going to really put a date on the history of Halifax. So I went to Sackville High for our sporting events. We would compete against schools like St. Pat's.
Yeah, yeah.
And QE, Queen Elizabeth. Speaking of, those schools no longer exist, right? Queen Elizabeth is where the new hospital is being built and where we have Citadel High School now. St. Pat's, there's nothing there. So I remember competing against those schools for basketball tournaments, and they were really good.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun. Let's turn it over to our viewers. Tell us something you remember from school that would date you. We want to know. Text us at 10400. We'll have a fun roundup at the end of the show.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Time now for your entertainment headlines. For that, we head to Hollywood.
Justin Bieber had the biggest music streaming day of the year earlier this week, according to new data from Luminate. Songs from the pop star's catalog surpassing 77 million streams in a single day, with 21 of his songs in Spotify's global top 200. The streaming bump coming just a day after Bieber's headlining set at Coachella.
And before they or you get any ideas, I will choose my own wife.
Dan Stevens, who audiences know from Downton Abbey, is joining the cast of Dexter Resurrection, playing a character called the Five-Borough Killer. He joins Brian Cox and Uma Thurman in the show alongside Dexter himself, Michael C. Hall.
Mine is not a family designed to withstand tragedy.
And Taylor Sheridan's star-studded drama The Madison has been renewed for season 3. The first season of that show, starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell, was the most-watched premiere for a Sheridan show. And happy birthday to Seth Rogen. The Superbad and Knocked Up star is 44. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Alex Stone, ABC News.
And in case you missed it, the upward pressure on fuel prices is being felt throughout the travel industry, and it's starting to affect the way Atlantic Canadians plan to travel.
Yep. CTV's Hafsa Arif has more on the sky-high cost of flights.
As travel season approaches, Maritimers are starting to map out where they want to go. But costs for airfare have gone up, bringing down some of the excitement.
It is one more added expense that they're going to have to make a judgment call when they're looking at where they're going to travel to this summer.
Some airlines are already adding surcharges and raising ticket prices, which has left some Maritimers choosing to stay home.
We're happy to be in Canada, where typically it's safe.
Fares are up as much as 15%, and experts caution more increases are to come.
Fuel's gone nuts. You know, a month and a half ago, it was like $70, $75 a barrel for fuel, aviation fuel. It's now at $175, $180. So it's more than doubled.
But it also doesn't mean international travel will go away entirely.
So I think travelers will take it in stride. I mean, travel does continue to still be something that people want to spend their money on.
Meaning a boost for domestic tourism, which may eventually cause international airlines to cut back flights.
And I think availability is going to be a bigger issue over the next few weeks. More and more airports will start running out of fuel, and they'll ration fuel. And that's already the case in Southeast Asia.
Experts say most of the country is still in a good spot. While Canadians pay international prices for fuel, Canada has its own refineries, which means shortages aren't a concern.
There's a lot of talk going on now in Ottawa and in the provinces to reduce both federal and provincial fuel taxes.
But for the East Coast, fuel will likely be imported from the U.S., increasing costs for months ahead. So experts recommend booking early to avoid price hikes. Hafsa Arif, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Hafsa. Happening now in local news, a New Brunswick official says last week's fuel spill from a tanker truck rollover on a southern highway has reached a tributary of the Hammond River and a nearby wetland. We'll have details just ahead. Plus, RCMP in New Brunswick say they believe a fatal crash north of St. John on Monday was caused by a driver trying to avoid a moose. Plus, Canadians can expect some relief when they fill up on gas on Monday. The Liberal government has announced that beginning Monday, it will suspend the excise fuel tax on gas and diesel until Labor Day to ease rising energy costs, and that does include aviation fuel. We'll have those stories just ahead in your top news headlines at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. But first, it is a look at the 3-day forecast with Latavia.
Thanks, Amanda. Starting off in New Brunswick, a high of 10 degrees today. We do have showers and or flurries across the province. Wet weather continues on Thursday with a high of 9, but warms up to Friday. On Friday, 16 degrees with showers across the province yet again. For Nova Scotia, 7 degrees with showers and or a drizzle today. Wet weather continues on Thursday and warming up to 11 on Friday, but wet weather continues. For Prince Edward Island, 7 degrees with showers and or drizzle across the island. Mainly cloudy skies on Thursday with a high of 9, but showers return into the evening. Showers continue to end off the work week on Friday with a high of 9.
It's Wednesday, April 15th. Today on your Morning Atlantic, we'll have the latest on the fuel spill cleanup in southern New Brunswick and details on when the highway is expected to reopen. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And the state of arthritis in Canada. We'll chat with the folks from Arthritis Society Canada about their new report card and the plan to end this debilitating and painful condition. That's all this half hour on your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning and happy Wednesday. The time now is 7 o'clock, and I can understand what it feels like to have arthritis because I do too.
Yes?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your journey with arthritis.
Well, growing up, they said I had growing pains. I was always in severe chronic pain. I ended up finding out that I had juvenile arthritis because of a condition that I had. So definitely had to deal with pain for a long time. As I've gotten older, I find when the weather is bad, I feel it in my joints. If I break a bone, I start to feel it in a new joint. But yeah, it's definitely something that I've dealt with.
Well, unfortunately, you're in good company because more than 6 million Canadians also are experiencing arthritis. We're going to talk about that later this half hour. Fortunately, it's not something that I have to deal with yet in my life anyway. You don't have the arthritic conditions, do you?
Not that I know of, but you know, thank you, Latavia, for speaking out, because it is also still such a misconception that it's something a lot of people think only happens later.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's definitely it's not well understood, even though it is so common. And it's definitely more needs to be done to help people who are living with arthritis. So yeah, looking forward to that conversation.
Absolutely. Well, if you are dealing with arthritis and the weather is something that affects it, bundle up, wrap those knees or elbows, and try to get relief from that pain. We are going to see this wet weather sticking around right across the region today. Here's a live look at McAdam. A cloudy start to the day. Doesn't look like you're seeing any precipitation as of right now. Showers and or drizzle for much of the region. Temperatures cooler as well, will remain cooler for our daytime highs. 8 degrees right now in Fredericton, 6 in Charlottetown with 7 in Halifax, 1 degree in Sydney, -1 into St. John's in Newfoundland. Still seeing the wind chill factor in early this morning in Newfoundland and Labrador. Feeling colder across Labrador this morning, as you can see there. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. So we are seeing a bit of flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland early this morning, a risk of freezing rain, transitioning over to periods of drizzle into the afternoon. For the Maritime region, this system is bringing rain early this morning. Will taper off to a chance of showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. In terms of the wind, it will become a bit breezy today. As of right now, 22 kilometers per hour in St. John, New Brunswick, 20 in Halifax, with wind gusts getting up to 39 in St. John, 31 in Halifax, and 30 kilometers per hour in Greenwood. We'll take another look at your midweek forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. New this morning, a New Brunswick official says last week's fuel spill from a tanker truck rollover on a southern New Brunswick highway has reached a tributary of the Hammond River and a nearby wetland. The province's Deputy Environment Minister tells the Canadian press cleanup crews deployed dams and booms to contain the spill. He says crews are removing contaminated soil and using vacuum trucks to suck up the fuel from the water. The province says Seaboard Liquid Carriers Limited was responsible for the April 8th incident. Route 1's eastbound lanes are now expected to reopen within days. Our CMP in New Brunswick say they believe a fatal crash north of St. John on Monday was caused by a driver trying to avoid a moose. Mounties say the driver of a southbound vehicle on Highway 7 swerved to avoid the moose, crossing into the opposing lane and struck a northbound vehicle head-on. A 31-year-old man who was driving the northbound vehicle was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say the driver who swerved to avoid the moose was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Canadians can expect some relief when they fill up on gas next week.
This is a big decision in terms of fiscal expense, and so we balance that given the situation.
The Liberal government has announced that starting Monday, it will suspend the excise fuel tax on gas and diesel until Labor Day to ease rising energy costs. Aviation fuel is also included. The $2.4 billion measure will save Canadians 10 cents per litre on regular gas and 4 cents a litre on diesel. Here's what some Maritimers have to say.
That's why I got $15 today. Usually I fill it. Well, I don't like paying it because when you pay that much for your fuel, you're taking from something else, either groceries or another bill of some sort.
This could be particularly impactful for some of our members who are small and mid-sized carriers who operate on very thin margins, helps with cash flow, and helps companies just manage the ongoing volatility of fuel pricing.
It's all in response to the war in the Middle East, where oil shipments along the Strait of Hormuz have largely been at a standstill. 2 15-year-old hockey players were arraigned in a Nova Scotia courtroom Tuesday on sexual assault charges related to a hazing investigation in the Truro area. RCMP have said a teenager came forward January 30th reporting an assault during a private team gathering last fall. They said the team is from the Truro area and there are 3 alleged victims.
These are very serious charges, and the Public Prosecution Service is taking this case, as we do all cases of sexual violence, seriously.
No pleas were entered yesterday. The case was adjourned until May 25th. It is day 3 on the picket line for thousands of long-term care workers in Nova Scotia. They walked out Monday in a bid for better wages. The government's offer is identical to what other healthcare workers have signed. Increases between 12 and 24% and a 70% increase in shift premium. However, a clause in other healthcare contracts could be a roadblock for getting the deal they're looking for.
Acute care and long-term care are sort of out of cycle in terms of when they negotiate their agreements. There is a clause called the Me Too clause, which means for 2 of those years that are in the same cycle, there would be a comparative elevation for those 2 years.
The offer that was presented to us was an offer that was made back in 2023. So the cost of living since 2023 to now has drastically increased. So even by accepting this offer, we're still not going to be making a fair living wage.
2,200 workers from 24 care homes are on strike, and CUPE says more staff could be joining in the days ahead. Finally, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are now in Melbourne, their first visit to Australia since their official royal tour back in 2018. The couple stopped to shake hands with dozens of well-wishers as hundreds gathered for their arrival. Their first public stop was Melbourne's Royal Children's Hospital, a place with deep royal ties. Queen Elizabeth II officially opened the facility back in 1963, and Princess Diana visited with then Prince Charles in 1985. While in Melbourne, Meghan is set to visit a women's shelter, while Harry will head to a Veterans Art Museum.
Lots of support for the royals and for their visit. Nice that they were able to spread some sunshine.
Absolutely.
For children who are
Give back.
Yeah, definitely giving back. But very interesting. I always love to watch the royals. See what's going on. It's time for a free trip for the Blossom Tour of the World. It continues today.
Where are we going now?
We're going to Bonn, Germany, where they have quite a lovely display. Let's check it out together, shall we? Look at that.
Wow,
Peak bloom. And fun. Salsa dancers were underneath the city's cherry blossoms for an annual event recently. It's a staple of the city's cherry blossom season. You can see dancers moving throughout the city. You can hear the music. Can't really smell the blossoms, though, because they don't have a heavy scent. The Bonn's old town turns into a pink wonderland every spring. Some areas actually basically become floral tunnels because the trees are very close together. So, girls, next year, this bus tour and plane tour, I guess, and also ship tour of the Blossoms of the World is going to get long.
Yeah, I know. We add to our itinerary. We're just going to go where the blossoms are.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's not a bad idea.
One by one.
Not a bad idea to get like an idea for a show.
I know,
be the
right?
host of it. Blossoms of the World.
Nice, Blossoms of the World.
Love it.
For now, we can explore the crocuses around here.
It's
That's
true.
nice to see. Okay, still ahead on the show, we'll have your national news headlines, but Latavia has the latest look at the midweek forecast. You know what flowers love. Some water, a fresh drink. Yeah, maybe boats are loving this free boat wash they're getting from all this rain. Who knows? Here's a live look at Yarmouth. The forecast is next.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada, and welcome back. The time now is 7:12 on your Wednesday morning. Starting off at -3 degrees over in Corner Brook. Mainly cloudy start to your day. We will be seeing increasing cloudiness into the afternoon, but no wet weather for you today. We are seeing a cooler start to the day right across the region. Colder air moves back in. As of right now, 8 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton, 7 in Halifax, 1 in Sydney, 6 degrees early this morning in Charlottetown. Much colder start to the day over in Labrador City with -24. Over to our forecast timeline, a bit of sunshine for parts of the region. Sunny skies across much of Labrador this morning. A bit of sunshine for parts of Newfoundland. Other than that, mainly cloudy skies. We do have a risk of freezing rain early this morning and a chance of flurries. That will transition over to a chance of drizzle for parts of that province. For the Maritime region, we have a system bringing rain early this morning for parts of the Maritime region. Transitioning over to showers and or drizzle into the afternoon, we will start to see it clear out for parts of the Maritimes. But into the evening hours, temperatures cool back down. Another system right in behind it, bringing showers back around into Thursday's forecast. Is going to be another wet day ahead. We also have temperatures warming up, though, remaining seasonal for much of our daytime highs. If you're wondering about precipitation totals, remaining quite light, only seeing an additional 2 to 5 millimeters across New Brunswick and parts of Nova Scotia, not seeing any accumulation for Newfoundland and Labrador. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, showers and/or flurries today. We're looking at daytime highs ranging from 4 to 11 degrees, wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island, highs between 5 to 9, looking at showers and/or drizzle for you as well. Wet weather continues in the forecast for Cape Breton, eastern mainland Nova Scotia. Daytime highs will range from 4 to 11 degrees, mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon. For the rest of Nova Scotia, showers and/or drizzle expected today as well. Daytime highs between 8 to 13 degrees and wind gusts of 40. Lots of sunshine for Labrador City today with a high of 4 degrees, 2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, starting off with flurries and a risk of freezing rain, transitioning over to periods of drizzle into the afternoon. For Thursday's forecast, seasonal daytime highs for the most part. We will be seeing precipitation move back in across all 3 maritime provinces, continuing into the overnight hours with flurries moving in for parts of Labrador. For Newfoundland, looking at a bit of mixed precipitation. And then into Friday's forecast, ending off the work week, a bit of sunshine for parts of New Brunswick, but other than that, shower activity continues for parts of the maritime region, flurries for Labrador, and a bit of mixed precipitation yet again for Newfoundland. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thank you, Latavia. The situation for unhoused people in New Brunswick is about to get worse in Fredericton. A temporary shelter is slated to shut down, leaving many with nowhere else to go. CTV's Laura Brown has more.
Matthew has had to pawn a few guitars to make ends meet. With no permanent home, he's relied on this Fredericton shelter over the last few months. But come April 30th, it's closing.
There's a lot of people on the streets right now, and the more help, I think, the better.
He's not sure exactly what he'll do. The shelter was always meant to be temporary, but for the last 18 months, it's been consistently full, with an average of 33 people a night. The city now wants the building back, and the director warns something else is needed.
Well over half are going to be out and rough. That'll be sort of what their existence will be from here on in. So couch surfing, tents, whatever they can find.
The Human Development Council has been tracking how many find themselves homeless in New Brunswick's 3 largest cities. Moncton is seeing the highest number of homeless individuals, with 782 people without a home at least one day in March. St. John next with 463, and Fredericton with 300 people. The province is trying out other housing ideas. These micro suites are being built as a bridge between the street and permanent housing. They'll become home to 14 residents at the end of the week.
It's a big difference when you have a place that you can choose, when you can leave and come back, and you can leave your stuff.
But Maddox warns shelters are still critical.
We're taking somebody who's very traumatized. We're bringing them in. We're providing them stability. We're cleaning up a lot of the baggage, documentation, legal issues, financial issues, whatever the case is. It's a triage, is what it is.
Matthew hopes the shelter will be replaced, and soon, with no strings attached. Laura Brown, CTV News, Fredericton.
Thank you, Laura. Well, we didn't feel it in our region, but many in eastern Ontario and western Quebec felt the effects of an earthquake yesterday. The tremor was strong enough to be caught on camera. Earthquakes Canada says a magnitude 3.9 hit near Shawville, Quebec, about 80 kilometers northwest of Ottawa. There are no reports of any major damage. A quick break. When we return, Crystal will have a discussion with the Arthritis Society of Canada and their latest report. That's up next.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100.
Welcome back at 7:21. The Arthritis Society of Canada recently released a State of Arthritis in Canada report card that reveals some startling stats. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 6 men have the condition. In fact, more than 6 million Canadians live with arthritis today, and that's more people than diabetes, heart disease, stroke, cancer, and dementia combined. And it's the #1 cause of disability, forcing millions from work and community life. Here to tell us more about the report card, the plan to end arthritis in Canada, and the upcoming East Coast Roast fundraiser is Trish Barbado, Arthritis Canada President and CEO, and Jenna Keddy, a Halifax resident living with arthritis. Thank you both for coming in this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So lots to get to. Let's begin with the report card. I understood, Trish, that Nova Scotia got a D. What does that tell you about the state of arthritis in our province?
Well, first of all, Nova Scotians suffer from arthritis at a higher level than many parts of the country. 30% of this province, people have arthritis. So that's almost 300,000 people with arthritis. It costs this province over $1 billion annually. That's in both direct healthcare costs and also indirect costs like productivity and absenteeism from work. As you mentioned, it's the #1 cause of disability. So it's an area for the province that really should be focused on.
Yeah, interesting. Jenna, you have much lived experience with arthritis. Tell us a bit about your journey and how it's impacted your life.
For sure, yeah. So I was diagnosed with arthritis 10 years ago at 11 years old, and now I'm 21, so I've been living with this disease for a decade. I actually live with a rare form of arthritis, because that's another thing a lot of people don't know, is there's so many types of arthritis, and it's a really complicated condition. And when I was diagnosed, it took me around 11 years to get diagnosed, because I had symptoms since I was a baby, including like skin issues and some other issues. And my mom kind of brought it up to the family doctor, but took till I was 11 to see a rheumatologist and get diagnosed. I had all my care in Nova Scotia, so I just think that speaks to, you know, the healthcare crisis has not gotten a lot better in the last 10 years. So that just speaks to, you know, how challenging it is to get a diagnosis and access to support and services. And it's really affected a lot of my life. I'd say it affected like most parts of my life. I've been able to, you know, get through with a lot of supports, especially from the Arthritis Society, having camps and workshops and, you know, being there for me through this journey. I wouldn't be able to do it without them, but it's been quite the up and down roller coaster for sure.
Yeah, before we get back to Trish about what's the action plan, you've been able to live an extraordinary life so far. You know, we've won pageants, you're, you know, national level cheer competitor, but in the day-to-day, how much does arthritis impact the things that you do?
So every single morning I wake up, I think anyone who's in Halifax right now can see how rainy it is outside. Yeah. So getting out of bed in the morning is just, it's really, really hard. And it takes a lot of coping strategies and skills. I have to go get an infusion every 6 weeks. And when I started getting that in high school, it's a little easier to manage. But now that I'm working full time and I'm in university, it's really hard to schedule those infusions because the clinics aren't open in the evenings. So even that struggle has been really hard with the day-to-day reality of, you know, trying to learn how to be an adult with these added struggles that I'm dealing with.
Well, for sure. Now, Trish, I mean, there is an action plan to eventually try to move toward an arthritis-free Canada. What do you want to highlight about that plan for our viewers?
I think for Nova Scotia, it's really thinking about access to rheumatologists, access to orthopedic surgeons. People don't know that joint replacements are primarily caused by arthritis. People say, oh, I have a bad knee, I have a bad hip. It's like, no, you have a disease that has progressed so much, you now need a whole joint replaced. Yeah. And so all of those areas are areas for improvement. I think about productivity and the economic opportunity of getting people back to work and helping them function at work with arthritis. I think this is an opportunity for Atlantic region.
That would be a real win-win because people's lives would improve and the economy would improve for sure. Jenna, what do you want people to, what would be the thing that you'd want to change most for people living with arthritis right now?
For sure, yeah, I think that arthritis-free Canada sounds absolutely incredible, but I just hope that people that live with arthritis have better skills to be able to cope with arthritis, deal with the day-to-day struggles and realities, because I mean, it affects every part of the social determinants of health, our way we interact with our community, our financial security, and so many other parts of our life, the way we're able to show up just in our friend groups and live our lives and experience joy that we deserve as humans. Yeah. So I just want people with arthritis to know, like, you're going to be okay, but I just really hope that there's better supports to set them up for success, and that young kids don't need to wait 11 years anymore, and they're able to be set up at a young age, because, you know, the younger of diagnosis, the easier it is to get support long term.
All right. Well, with that being said, there's a big fundraiser coming up next Saturday. Tell us about it. It features our own Steve Murphy. It's the East Coast Roast. We've got a graphic to show. Why are the funds raised from this event so important to the work that you do, Trish?
We have an amazing camp for kids that come from all over the Atlantic region, and this camp is life-changing for these kids. They meet people that have the same disease that they have. You can speak better to this than I can.
Yeah, I went to camp for 7 years, Camp Join Together, that takes place at Brigadoon in the Valley, and it's a camp that's designed for people with arthritis, and they, you know, you're able to learn skills at camp. It's a camp where there's nurses that are equipped to give you your medication, and it's just like a really beautiful community. And like, it's to the point, like, I'm 21 now, and I have friends I met at camp that are like my favorite people ever. That'll be like non-blood aunts to my kids one day. days. So I think that just speaks to how wonderful that camp is for helping people build friendships and relationships.
Well, thank you both for coming in this morning, shining a spotlight on arthritis and ways we can support. And thank you both again. We have put the information on our website about Arthritis Society Canada and the East Coast Roast. It's 7:26. We're going to take a break and be back with more of our show right after this.
Now, this is a sure sign of spring. Girl Guides, and with them, Girl Guide cookies are now on sale. Whether you love chocolate or vanilla, the sandwich kind, we are going to sit down with the Girl Guide and her mother, who's also a leader, about the cause, what it supports, and more. That's later this half hour on Your Morning Atlantic.
Welcome back. Come on and join us. We're halfway through the show already. Halfway through the month. It's April 15th. And halfway through the week. It's Wednesday.
Yeah. Look at that.
Wednesday and the Girl Guides are here.
Yes. Gosh, I used to be a Girl Guide leader. This time of year, I'd have my dining room filled with boxes of cookies.
How tempting was it?
Very tempting. Very tempting.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we had the little envelope, and and unfortunately, we bought a lot of them ourselves. Yeah, yeah.
I know in the fall they have the peppermint chocolatey ones,
minty chocolate
the minty
ones,
chocolate ones, and then the spring is when you get those sandwich ones, are like vanilla and chocolate.
Which are your favorite?
Those ones are my favorite.
Yeah, I'm a mint girl. I'm a mint girl.
Yeah, me too. I don't really like mint in everyday life and like food, but I love those mint chocolate cookies.
Yeah, and fun fact, if you pop by my house unannounced, there's always a box of those mint Girl Guide cookies in the freezer so I can pull them out and make some tea.
Amazing.
Yes, my mother-in-law, you know, she got me with Cape Breton lifestyle. Hashtag Cape Breton lifestyle. I follow
Put it in the freezer, right?
Yeah.
They thaw very quickly.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to learning about that. And
Me too.
I hope, boy, if the Girl Guides are knocking on doors today, they need a good rain jacket.
Yeah, buy the cookies.
Absolutely.
Buy the cookies.
Yes, buy the cookies for sure. The good thing about today is that we're going to start to see those showers taper off, becoming a chance of showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. Starting off a little bit heavier for parts of the region. As you can see from our live eye over in Peggy's Cove, a cloudy, foggy, and a bit of a wet start to the day. 7 degrees in Halifax, starting off your day with 1 degree in Sydney, 6 in Charlottetown, 7 in Fredericton, -1 in St. John's, Newfoundland. Still being a bit cooler early on this morning in Newfoundland and Labrador with that wind chill. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We are seeing some active weather in the forecast. This low pressure system bringing rain early this morning for parts of the Maritime region, showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. For Newfoundland, looking at a bit of mixed precipitation today as well. A bit of flurry activity early in the morning, a risk of freezing rain, seeing drizzle into the afternoon. In terms of our wind forecast, it's going to be a bit breezy today as well, especially into the afternoon. As of right now, 26 kilometers per hour in Halifax, 28 in St. John, New Brunswick, 24 in Lunenburg with 20 in Greenwood. Wind gusts of up to 39 in St. John, 30 into Greenwood. We'll take another look at your midweek forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. A New Brunswick official says last week's fuel spill from a tanker truck rollover on a southern highway has reached a tributary of the Hammond River and a nearby wetland. Excuse me. The province's Deputy Environment Minister tells the Canadian press cleanup crews deployed dams and booms to contain the spill. He says crews are removing contaminated soil and using vacuum trucks to suck up the fuel from the water. The province says Seaboard Liquid Carriers Limited was responsible for the April 8th incident. Route 1's eastbound lanes, they're now expected to reopen within days. Our CMPs in New Brunswick say they believe a fatal crash north of St. John Monday was caused by a driver trying to avoid a moose. Mounties say the driver of a southbound vehicle on Highway 7 swerved to avoid the moose, crossed into the opposing lane, and struck a northbound vehicle head-on. A 31-year-old man who was driving the northbound vehicle was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say the driver who swerved to avoid the moose was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Canadians can expect some relief when they fill up on gas next week.
This is a big decision in terms of fiscal expense, and so we balance that given the situation.
The Liberal government has announced that starting Monday, it will suspend the excise fuel tax on gas and diesel until Labor Day to ease rising energy costs. Aviation fuel is also included. The $2.4 billion measure will save Canadians 10 cents per litre on regular gas and 4 cents a litre on diesel. Here's local reaction.
That's why I got $15 today. Usually I fill it. Well, I don't like paying it because when you pay that much for your fuel, you're taking from something else, either groceries or another bill of some sort.
This could be particularly impactful for some of our members who are small and mid-sized carriers who operate on very thin margins, helps with cash flow, and helps companies just manage the ongoing volatility in fuel pricing.
It's all in response to the war in the Middle East, where oil shipments along the Strait of Hormuz have largely been at a standstill. Police in Amherst have identified the man who was shot and killed outside a homeless shelter Monday night. 41-year-old Christopher Leggett of Amherst was walking on Prince Arthur Street when a dark-colored SUV pulled up behind him. He was shot once in the lower back and was later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. The suspects are still at large, but police don't believe there's any threat to the public.
This was very clearly a targeted incident where people knew each other. The victim knew his attackers and vice versa.
The shooting happened outside a homeless shelter, but its administration says staff and those staying there were not involved in the incident. BEI's finance minister has tabled a record deficit budget for the second year in a row. Jill Burridge introduced the 2026-27 budget in Charlottetown yesterday with a $410 million deficit, the largest in provincial history. It's more than double the $184 million deficit the PC government introduced last spring. The budget includes $269 million in new spending and contains about $321 million in measures designed to help islanders with affordability. Women's health advocates argue Nova Scotia's system is under tremendous pressure. From surgical backlogs to access to timely care, they argue the province needs a dedicated health plan for women. CTV's Jesse Thomas reports.
Kim White spoke at a legislative health committee, sharing her breast cancer story and her struggles to access timely care and the surgery she needed.
We as women have to stand up. We have to tell them we're sick and tired. We're literally sick and tired. Physically, emotionally, mentally.
She, like others on this panel, including the president of the IWK Foundation, believe that a women's health care strategy is long overdue.
A strategy is like a map. You're in a car. You need a map to know where you're going, or a GPS nowadays, to know where you're going from A to B.
I fully accept that is not satisfactory, and the surgeons will be the first to tell you that they are operating on people with worse prolapse because the waits are long, and that is a real significant issue.
An official with the IWK suggested the federal government is going to lead a women's health strategy, which they expect to hear more about soon. But in the meantime, official opposition leader Claudia Chender says the province should start their own now.
I think what we heard today is it's great that it's coming federally. Women in this province, in this region, are underserved, and that needs to change now.
The province's health minister isn't ruling out a health strategy down the road, but for now says they're focused on investing in and fixing the healthcare system. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you so much for that report, Jesse.
Thank you for that news report.
And thanks, JW, for the water. I kept trying to clear my throat there.
Oh, gosh. That happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
A lot of talking on this show. Let's continue to flap our gums about the Rolls-Royce we showed earlier.
Oh, my gosh.
Let's
do it.
Yeah, it is being called an ultra-luxury EV. We now know how much it might cost, okay? It's a touch more than we'd estimated. So in case you missed it, this car's being called the Project Nightingale. Only 100 are being made. Rolls-Royce has not revealed the price. We guessed $250,000 Canadian.
Right.
That was roughly what we guessed. Well, the production team did some research across a number of auto trade publications. Turns out the base model is expected to sell for £7 million. So that's 13 million Canadian dollars. Can you imagine?
What?
Sheesh. Louise, that's the base model. If you want a bell or a whistle, it's going to cost you more.
Apparently.
Like, it shows how much I know about vehicles. Like, I would never say.
All I want to know is who's gifting me this vehicle.
Well, if they did give me that vehicle, I'd take it for a nice little spin, and then I'd sell it.
Obviously.
The money what you could do with $13 million, my gosh.
Woo. You could buy a lot of cars.
Certainly could. With the interest from $13 million, you could buy a lot of cars.
Oh, gosh, I know. But you can't even put a car seat in that thing. Like, you know, for the little ones.
It's a two-seater.
No,
that's
not even room for a...
That's for the cruise.
Yeah.
That's not for school drop-off.
Yeah.
Speaking of school, we want to remind you of the Move Morning Chat. We really want to hear your what you have to say about this, because it's cool. Without saying your age, what is something you remember from school that totally dates you?
Ooh.
I was even mentioning to the ladies here, I thought of another thing. For me, is we would get paper report cards, and my son, who's in grade 3, that doesn't happen, paper report cards. It's all email. It's all digital.
That's true. I think that was pandemic that stopped, because my kids were getting the paper ones, and then it stopped.
Point.
Yeah. Not sure, but around that would kind of make sense. What about you? Do you remember anything from your school days?
When we would watch movies, they'd wheel out the big TV.
Oh, yes.
And the projector. That was something else, too. Yeah. They always looked so old.
They would turn off the lights, though, and you would hear the hum.
Yeah.
It was actually really relaxing.
Oh, yeah.
Settle in, everybody. We're watching a movie today. I love that.
You know what? We can ask the girl guide coming in if they use a projector in her class.
Yeah, they do.
I doubt it.
No?
That's coming up on the other side of this break. Also, too, Latavia has the latest look at the forecast, and it is Girl Guide season. We will sit down with one guide and her mom to talk about this year's campaign. That's on the other side of this break.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 7:44, and we're taking a live look at Charlottetown. 6 degrees starting off your day. A bit of a wet start to the day as well. We are seeing some light showers that will taper off to a low chance of isolated showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. A cooler start to the day for much of the region. 7 degrees right now in Fredericton as well as into Halifax. 1 degree in Sydney. Much colder in Labrador City today with -24 and -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. A bit of flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland early this morning. A risk of freezing rain that will transition over to periods of drizzle into the afternoon. Lots of sunshine across Labrador today, and then for the Maritime region, a system moves in, bringing rain early in the morning, transitioning over to a chance of showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. We will be seeing some clearing for parts of the Maritime region, but we have another low pressure system making its way over into the overnight hours tonight, bringing another wet day ahead on Thursday, but temperatures expected to rise, remaining seasonal for our daytime highs for tomorrow. If you're wondering about rainfall totals, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters of additional precipitation for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, not seeing accumulation for Newfoundland and Labrador. So for forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at showers and or flurries today. Daytime highs will range from 4 to 11 degrees and wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island looking at highs between 6 to 9. We do have showers and or drizzle throughout your day today. Wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, daytime highs will range from 4 to 11. We do have showers and or flurries for parts of this part of the province, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon, pretty light wind. For the rest of Nova Scotia, showers and or drizzle will continue throughout the day today. Daytime highs between 8 to 13 and wind gusts of 40. Labrador City seeing lots of sunshine today with a high of 4 degrees and 2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at flurries and a risk of freezing rain early this morning, tapering off to a chance of drizzle into the afternoon. Thursday's forecast, temperatures do warm back up, seasonal for much of our daytime highs. We will be seeing a wet day ahead, though. Showers expected for much of the Maritime region. Thursday night, we see that wet weather continue. Flurries move in across Labrador, parts of Newfoundland seeing mixed precipitation. Friday's forecast to end off the work week. Sunshine returns for parts of New Brunswick. Above seasonal daytime highs for parts of the region, but we're still dealing with some wet weather, Crystal.
Thanks, Latavia. 7:46. Another sign of spring aside from the rain. The classic vanilla and chocolate Girl Guide cookies are now for sale. The cookies are a key fundraiser for Girl Guides of Canada, which help members build confidence, resilience, and skills. So here to tell us more is Girl Guider Allison Anderson and her daughter, 10-year-old Kate, who's in her second year of Girl Guides. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in. So I'll start with you, Allison. Why are these cookies such an important fundraiser for you and your unit?
Well, Girl Guide cookies provide funding for all of the activities that we do. So badges, equipment, all that stuff. In addition to that, there are many units that do trips or adventures.
Yeah.
And we definitely sell the cookies to go towards that too.
For sure. I know. I remember when I was a guider back in the day, we would sell the cookies and a portion would fund Girl Guides of Canada and all of the fine work that they do, and then the rest of the money your unit got to actually use for your programming. So Kate, that brings me to you. What are you going to be using the cookie money for this year?
Well, we're going to Newfoundland. We're fundraising, and we're going to grow s'more, so.
Whoa, this summer?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. You've had incredible experience. Tell us a little bit more about the things you've done when you've been guiding.
So we do things like we went bowling not long ago this year, and we also got a chef to come in, and he like helped us make sushi and stuff, and it was really fun. Yeah,
that's so fun. And Allison, I know as a leader, it's you're always coming up with creative ideas, and you have other guiders as well who work with you, because there's a certain number of guides that have to be on site with the girls, and I know how resourceful you are. Like the money that you have, you really stretch it to make it go, go, go. What do you want people to know about what it's like to be a leader?
It's a great experience. It's great to be able to, if you have a daughter in guiding, it's great to be able to have a chance to hang out with her. But it's really important because it's a great program to allow kids to get out and experience different things.
Yeah, it really is very special. I will be honest, I got into it because they were short on leaders and my daughter couldn't get in unless I became a leader, so I did it. No regrets. What a great experience. It isn't really that much time in the grand scheme of things, especially if you share the load with some other dedicated people. Yep. Yeah, for sure. So Kate, all right, I want you to tell a little bit people out there more about Girl Guiding. Okay, so you've had some stuff. In the past, you were an Ember, and you've been in it for 6 years already.
Yes.
So in the past, what are some of your best memories you've had from?
Well, we usually did like things like crafts, but also I have so many people in our group to this day that have been like with us since like Sparks, like my first year.
Yeah.
And I also have some people that are in my class that are like some of my best friends that were like aren't in it now, but they were before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know you make lifelong friends, and as a guider, you make friends too.
You absolutely do.
Oh my gosh.
Great time.
If we're sure sleepovers, camps, it's all so wonderful. Well, thank you both for coming in and sharing your experience. Before we go, if people did want to get cookies, how would they find cookies in their area?
So there is a website that's pretty interactive. It's if you go girlguides.ca/cookies, it will search your area. You can put in your town name or your postal code, and it'll give you sites that are available to sell cookies.
Perfect. That's fantastic. And I know that Kate, you and some of your other members of the unit, you will be set up in various businesses as well.
Yeah.
So look for the table, support Girl Guides, and dig around in your purse or couch cushions and come up with $6 because that's how much they cost. So I'll be taking one box.
Thank you
very much. Amanda, I'll share them with you. I know they're your favorite cookies.
Okay. Perfect, because I was just about to ask Donna and JW if they had any change, and I'd give them $6. Okay, health and medical news now. The Public Health Agency of Canada says its investigation into a salmonella outbreak linked to pistachios is still active, even though it's been a year since recording the first infection. It's one of the topics in your health. It says 26 people have been hospitalized, and the number of illnesses since March of 2025 has grown to 189. Illnesses have been reported as recently as last month. Canadians are being told not to eat pistachios imported from Iran. Illnesses have been reported in 6 provinces, including New Brunswick, as well as Ontario, Quebec, British Columbia, Alberta, and Manitoba. On the West Coast, events are planned today across British Columbia to mark 10 years since the province declared a public health emergency related to the overdose crisis. The emergency declaration came a year after the province reported 474 apparent illicit drug deaths in 2015. Overdoses have since killed more than 18,000 people. Finally, new research stateside shows that the hardest hits football players take might not be on the field, but the memory problems that come years later. A new study of nearly 4,000 former American football players found that after age 40, players had worse measures of cognition, including memory, problem solving, and planning, as well as measures of depression and emotional control compared to healthy people who didn't play the sport. The longer duration of play and the higher the level of play, the worse the outcomes.
We have no milestones to pass along for you today, but if you'd like to see previously aired milestones or find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. Okay, well, have you ever heard of a scuba diving parrot? Apparently, such a bird exists, and his name is BB.
Wow. Well, his owner lives in Iowa, but he recently got to explore the Atlantic Ocean with his birdie bestie. ABC's Danny New explains.
You might be looking at history right now because, yes, that is a parrot exploring the Atlantic Ocean in a DIY submarine.
He is very comfortable with that. I'm his buddy.
Iowan Stephen Lawyer didn't want to leave his 6-year-old pal BB alone when he went to the Bahamas for a month. So the former physics major instead invented a contraption he calls the Bebosphere.
It's not full of air right now, but it's at 3,000 PSI, the same as a scuba tank.
For the record, this is not the first time Stephen assembled a contraption for BB.
You skydive! Woo!
He also created a Beeble so they could go skydiving together. He says they've now gone 15 times.
When I'm going to jump, he will go in there voluntarily. He lets us know if he wants to go.
Over the past week or so, this video has picked up millions of views online with varying reactions. One commenter writing, "Love it," while another says, "I'm not really sure he wants that."
Couple comments from people who did not like this concept.
No, I get it. Was BB at risk while in the submarine? My answer is very, very, very low because of all the precautions I took. Here you go. Ready? Go.
Overall, Stephen just feels all this inventing is worth it if he doesn't have to leave his best bud in a cage. I mean, if Stephen's not there, who's going to feed him cashews?
But look at his manners there. He'll hold the cashew in his foot while he eats it.
I know he went underwater, but this is way cooler to me.
Stephen said he and BB practiced a bunch with the Bebosphere in the sink at home and says he didn't show any signs of distress in the Bahamas. Stephen says he mostly just looked engaged and seemed to just be enjoying the view. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
I've seen it all. BB traveling the world. Now to our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick. A high of 10 degrees today, a chance of showers and or flurries. 9 degrees on Thursday with wet weather continuing across the province. Same thing on Friday, but warming up to 16. Nova Scotia looking at 7 degrees today. Scattered showers and or drizzle. Showers continue in the forecast on Thursday. Friday looking at a high of 11 with more wet weather ahead. Prince Edward Island, 7 degrees today. Isolated showers and or drizzle. Mainly cloudy skies on Thursday with a high of 9. Evening showers, and showers continue to end off the work week on Friday with a high of 9.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
It's Wednesday, April 15th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, a New Brunswick official says last week's fuel spill from a tanker truck rollover has reached a tributary of the Hammond River in a nearby wetland. The latest on that just ahead in your local news headlines.
And it's almost outdoor living season. We'll visit our partners at Kent to check out all the great items they have to make your backyard your favorite place to be this summer. Those stories and more coming up on the Wednesday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning. In that Kent video, there's like this big lounging chair that we have video of.
Yeah.
I want to know more about that.
The egg-shaped one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have it in a couple of colors. We did the shoot at the Dartmouth Kent, but they have the things everywhere.
I do frequent that location.
Yeah, there's a beautiful, the garden center's beginning to get ready for the season.
Very excited.
Fun fact, they didn't have those umbrellas up. We wanted to take one out to shoot it, and then it looked so good when they set it up, they're like, dang, we're going to set up 2 more.
Amazing.
So yeah, thank you. You're welcome for the merchandising idea.
Right?
No, it was really fun. They have a lot of great... This is the time to get your outdoor stuff because the selection is plentiful.
Exactly.
That's
Beat the rush.
By the time it's really hot, sometimes that selection, it's gone, and they're not bringing any more in.
Exactly. Yeah. So get it while it's there. You certainly might want one of those giant umbrellas, even not for the patio, but to be very strong to just carry it around.
Exactly, right? Wind can't take this one down.
Flying away like Mary Poppins.
Oh, you would. You would.
Going to the moon with those umbrellas. Well, we are seeing that wet weather for parts of the region today. It will taper off, and we aren't seeing it too heavy across the region, which is great. Here's a live look at Hampton. A cloudy start to the day, not seeing any precipitation as of right now in your area. Temperatures will continue to rise a little bit later on, but still remaining cooler for our daytime highs. 8 degrees in Fredericton, with 6 starting off your day in Charlottetown. 7 degrees in Halifax, 1 in Sydney, and -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill factoring in early this morning, cooling things down in both Newfoundland and Labrador. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We do have showers early this morning. Will become lighter to a low chance of showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. And for parts of Newfoundland, looking at periods of drizzle this afternoon as well. Over to the current wind across the Maritime region. We will continue to see this pick up for parts of the Maritimes into the afternoon. 28 kilometers per hour right now in St. John, New Brunswick, 26 in Halifax, 24 in Lunenburg, 20 into Greenwood. Wind gusts of 39 in St. John and 30 kilometers per hour in Greenwood. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. A New Brunswick official says last week's fuel spill from a tanker truck rollover on a southern highway has reached a tributary of the Hammond River and a nearby wetland. The province's Deputy Environment Minister tells the Canadian Press cleanup crews deployed dams and booms to contain the spill. He says crews are removing contaminated soil and using vacuum trucks to suck up the fuel from the water. The province says Seaboard Liquid Carriers Limited was responsible for the incident that happened 1 week ago. Route 1's eastbound lanes are now expected to reopen within days. Canadians can expect some relief when they fill up on gas next week.
This is a big decision in terms of fiscal expense, and so we balance that given the situation.
The Liberal government has announced that starting Monday, it will suspend the fuel tax on gas and diesel until Labor Day to ease rising energy costs. Aviation fuel is also included. The $2.4 billion measure will save Canadians 10 cents per litre on regular gas and 4 cents a litre on diesel. Here's reaction from Maritimers.
That's why I got $15 today. Usually I fill it. Well, I don't like paying it because when you pay that much for your fuel, you're taking from something else, either groceries or another bill of some sort.
This could be particularly impactful for some of our members who are small and mid-sized carriers who operate on very thin margins, helps with cash flow, and helps companies just manage the ongoing volatility in fuel pricing.
Now it's all in response to the war in the Middle East, where oil shipments along the Strait of Hormuz have largely been at a standstill. We'll have more on that in international news in 10 minutes' time. 2 15-year-old hockey players were arraigned in a Nova Scotia courtroom Tuesday on sexual assault charges relating to a hazing investigation in the Truro area. RCMP have said a teenager came forward January 30th reporting an assault during a private team gathering last fall. They said the team is from the Truro area and there are 3 alleged victims.
These are very serious charges, and the Public Prosecution Service is taking this case, as we do all cases of sexual violence, seriously.
No pleas were entered yesterday. The case was adjourned until May 25th. The price of electricity is now higher in New Brunswick. Power rates went up nearly 4.3% Tuesday. The Energy Board settled on that amount after considering a larger hike NB Power had requested.
NBA are calling for a rebate program to help people who are on low and moderate incomes. We have to make people's voices heard who often think their voices are not heard. So we have to keep going and we have to keep campaigning.
NB Power says the utility needed a rate increase in part to address unexpected shutdown costs at Point Lepreau. Cape Breton regional councillors are raising questions about the sale of a piece of land off Sydney Harbour. They believe the transaction took place without their knowledge. The land in question is a piece of wharf property in Sidport Industrial Park. Councillor Arlene McMullen said she found it out recently. It had been sold in late March to a company now owned by controversial port development promoter Albert Barbusi. Mayor Cecil Clark was asked for his response to a number of councillors who spoke out Tuesday, proclaiming they'd been left in the dark.
That's a question for the CAO. The transactions themselves are the responsibility of the CAO and senior management. From a legislative point of view, there are agreements that are put in place. We deal with hundreds of documents that come through the mayor's office that council would have dealt with in the past. This is no different in terms of a transaction. It was a legal option that was triggered with regards to a purchase option. And again, that falls back to administration.
Now, there's no word on the purchase price. McMillan and other councillors insist they should have known about the sale before the municipal budget, which was approved back on March 26th. Finally, talk about a bottleneck issue that's a little nuts. Can you see what that is? That's a little squirrel, and it found himself stuck inside an old glass bottle. There's the little face. Hope for Wildlife posted these photos on social media saying, you'd be surprised how many animals get stuck inside or tangled up in things. Fortunately, he wasn't in there long. We delicately removed him by using a glass cutter to take the end off the bottle. After a quick exam, he was released, hopefully all the more wiser around bottles.
First of all, so adorable.
It's very cute. Squirrel in a bottle. You see the ships, but the squirrels, I have never seen that before.
No. What kind of message would that bring? That's the little thing. Oh my goodness. Thank goodness they brought it for Hope for Wildlife and they were able to help the
For sure. And I've used a glass cutter before. There's a kind that you just kind of put and you just kind of twist it and it doesn't, it's actually like it just cuts the glass in a careful way and it wouldn't hurt the squirrel. You just want to make sure he was on the other side of the bottle. But yeah, they could have had a nut in the end and oh my goodness.
I like how when he was out of there, he definitely looked like a little ruffled. Like, I don't know what happened, but.
All in a day's work.
Yeah.
Well, Hope Swinnermer, I don't know if she has received this honor, but probably will soon. 5 people have been appointed to the Order of Nova Scotia. This year's recipients include former Nova Scotia Premier Darrell Dexter, philanthropist John George Fleming, community leader, former president of New Dawn Enterprises Rankin McSween, human rights advocate Carolyn G. Thomas, and musician and songwriter Joel Plaskett of Dartmouth. The ceremony was held at Government House with Lieutenant Governor Mike Savage presenting the new members with their insignia and appointment scrolls.
Incredible honor.
I mean, I just feel really fortunate, and it's a privilege to be honored in this way and recognized for, you know, being in this province in the way that I've been in it, I guess. Yeah.
The award recognizes people who have made lasting contributions in their fields of expertise. 132 members have been invested into the Order of Nova Scotia since it began 25 years ago. I love the insignia and ribbon and everything.
Oh,
beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful. Now, did Joel Plaskett take the Dartmouth Ferry to get into town?
He definitely did.
Yeah.
It wasn't nowhere to go that he went with that, though. It was definitely a place with purpose.
No, yeah, that's true. But seriously, congratulations to all those new inductees.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we'll head 10 minutes. Crystal will visit our partners at Kent to help you get ready for outdoor living season. And speaking of the outdoors, your Wednesday forecast is coming up next. Tavia is saying we've had some wet weather to start the day, but it's not going to last all day. Not that, at least the heavy stuff. So we'll take a live look at Iona. You can see those cloudy skies. Before we know it, that grass will be really green. Looking forward to that day. Time is 8:10. We'll be right back.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 8:12. We're taking a live look at Port de Grabe. 0 starting off your day, a cloudy start to the day, and we are expecting a low chance of drizzle on and off. So as of right now, it is a cooler start to the day. We've seen colder air move in terms of our daytime highs. They're going to remain on the cooler side of things today. 8 degrees as you head outdoors in Fredericton, 6 in Charlottetown, 7 degrees in Halifax with 2 degrees in Sydney, 0 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. So we are seeing precipitation for much of the Maritime region early this morning. In terms of the precipitation, starting off with some light rainfall, will transition over to a chance of showers and or drizzle into the evening. For Labrador, seeing lots of sunshine sunshine today, and then for Newfoundland, looking at a bit of flurry activity early in the morning, a risk of freezing rain. We'll transition over to a chance of drizzle for parts of the province. Into the evening tonight, we are going to still hold on to a low pressure system because we do have another one in right behind this one, bringing showers into Thursday's forecast. But temperatures are expected to rise, becoming seasonal for much of our daytime highs. If you're wondering about rainfall totals, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters expected for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Not seeing any accumulation for Newfoundland and Labrador today. In terms of our New Brunswick forecast, showers and or flurries across the province today. Daytime highs will range from 4 to 12 degrees. Wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island also seeing wet weather today. A low chance of showers and or drizzle. Daytime highs will range from 5 to 9. Wind gusts will pick up to 40 kilometers per hour this afternoon. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, also seeing showers and or flurries early this morning, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon with highs between 4 to 10. We are going to see pretty light wind for this part of the province out of the east, 15 kilometers per hour. For the rest of Nova Scotia, a wet day ahead as well. A low chance of showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. Daytime highs between 7 to 13 degrees, wind gusts of 40. Labrador City seeing lots of sunshine throughout the day today with a high of 4. 2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, starting off with flurries and a risk of freezing rain. Tapers off to a chance of drizzle into the afternoon. So Thursday's forecast, this other system makes its way over, bringing showers across much of the maritime region. Seeing a bit of sunshine for parts of Newfoundland, though, into the late afternoon. Thursday night, much of the same expected. Now we see flurries return for parts of Labrador. Newfoundland looking at flurries and or showers. Friday's forecast ending off the work week. A bit of sunshine returns for parts of New Brunswick. Temperatures warming up above seasonal for parts of the region. But we do have showers persisting for parts of the Maritimes. That's a look at your weather forecast. Going to throw things over to Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. Time is 8:15. The International Monetary Fund is warning the war in Iran could cause the global economy to teeter on the brink of recession. This comes as news of a second round of talks between the U.S. and Iran looms. For more on this, we bring in CTV's Scott Hurst. Scott, a big warning, the International Monetary Fund warning the global economy could be on the brink of recession. What more can you tell us?
Amanda, good morning. The war now in its 7th week has left thousands dead, rattled markets, jolted the global economy. Shipping has been cut off and energy infrastructure has been critically damaged. It has sent prices soaring, and that is something we've all already felt. The IMF summary starting off with its first line with the blunt message saying the global economy is threatened with being thrown off course with downside risks dominating the outlook. And it says prior to the war, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, was poised to upgrade its global growth forecast. That's how much this has changed. But the outlook, it says, has abruptly darkened following the outbreak of the war. Now, the IMF presented 3 growth scenarios, and under the IMF's worst case outlook, it would mean a close call for a global recession. This assumes the energy supply disruptions will extend into 2027, and oil prices will continue to skyrocket well above $100 per barrel. And so as you look at this recent outlook from the IMF, Amanda, it really focuses and emphasizes how much things have changed and how much uncertainty there still is with trying to predict the ongoing war between the U.S., Israel, and Iran, Amanda.
And Scott, with the U.S. military blockade of Iranian ports now into its 3rd day, what difference are we seeing in Donald Trump's efforts to put pressure on Iran?
Well, we're seeing the pressure still being imposed on Iran, but in the meantime, we're also seeing back channels working, trying to set up a second round of talks, a second round of negotiations. The U.S. president even hinted about that on social media, saying it could happen in a matter of days. Now, it comes as the U.S. military said its blockade of Iranian ports is now in full effect. And meanwhile, Iran is threatening more retaliatory strikes around the region. Of course, we know the first round of talks have failed. The White House has stated Iran's nuclear ambitions were a critical sticking point. And with so much uncertainty still out there over this war, how long it might last, and the latest forecast from the IMF, we're already seeing the Canadian government forced to respond, as we saw yesterday in his first act as Prime Minister of now a majority government. Carney announced a cut to the federal fuel excise tax on gas and diesel starting next week through the summer months, which could save drivers upwards of 10 cents per liter on regular gas and 4 cents on diesel, Amanda.
Guaranteed many people will be waiting to fill up on Monday. Scott, thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks, Amanda.
CTV Scott Hurst reporting live for us from our national newsroom in Toronto. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, Crystal heads to our partners at Kent to check out their outdoor patio furniture.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100.
We are at Kent at Dartmouth Crossing, and today we're going to talk about outdoor living. And for that, our favorite seasonal manager, Patrick, is back. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Crystal. How are you?
Now, you're a bit sweaty because you have literally been setting up umbrellas. There's so much stock in-house right now.
There's a lot of stock. We have something for everybody.
I love the colors this season.
There's some great colors, a lot of neutrals. Pop colors this year are the burgundy and the olive green.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, we're in amongst some gorgeous outdoor living sets. If somebody's looking for some new outdoor furniture, how do you begin?
Figure out what kind of space they're looking to fill. Outdoor is an extension of your indoor, so outdoor dining, outdoor cooking, outdoor lounge. Or do you have a small space and you just really need a bistro set?
Exactly. Like you could just get this beautiful place to everybody to just kind of hang out while somebody's barbecuing over in the corner. Or if you just have a little balcony, you just want to watch the world go by, you got you covered.
We do. We have side tables. We have modern Adirondacks. We have the St. Andrews rocking chair. Comes in 5 colors. Great for your front porch if you want pops of color.
And you have something called Mix and Match. What is that?
Mix and match is a lot of our dining sets, so you can pick a separate table, separate chair, and kind of create your own space.
I love it. Okay, so you mentioned a table. I think we need something to cook and eat on it. Let's go look at outdoor cooking.
Okay.
My goodness, Patrick, there is a vast selection of options here.
Tons of selection.
Tons of selection, and I'm noticing many familiar names.
We carry Weber, we carry Blackstone, we've got Broil King, we've got all the major brands.
Okay, that's fantastic. Great to know that Kent has a giant selection of outdoor appliances, but also different options. Like you have your traditional barbecue and many, many great options there.
Yes.
Quick question, how do you know how much power you need? Like I see this many BTUs and that many BTUs. How would you figure out how big of a barbecue you need?
Depends on how often you're going to be using and what you're going to be cooking. Are you cooking for a crowd or is it just a couple?
Okay.
So that'll help you kind of determine whether you need a 2-burner, 3-burner, 4-burner, add a side burner, add a sear station, depending on your needs.
Perfect. And so somebody here at Kent could help you unpack that and figure out what your needs are. Perfect. Okay, beside you is something I have not seen before. What is this appliance?
This is a griddle. So these have become popular over the last couple of years. Basically, easy cooking. You can do all your meals on this, easy cleanup. You can do your smash burgers. If you've ever had a smash burger, they're delicious.
I have not had a smash burger, but I'll take your word for it. I'll have to get one of these and give it a go. It's like basically you've got a commercial kitchen at your disposal.
Yep. Even heat all the way across. So you can cook, you have multiple cooking zones. So you could do your eggs over here, your bacon over here, all at one shot.
Oh my gosh, what fun is that? Okay, what about a pellet grill? What is that?
So a pellet grill uses wood pellets, and you can get flavored wood pellets to add different wood flavor to your whatever you're cooking. Usually it's for tougher cuts of meat that you're going to cook a little longer. You can even cook cookies on it.
It is an oven situation. Yep.
Yeah. Same idea as a barbecue, except you're using the heat from the pellets and the flavor to infuse your food.
All right, perfect. So if somebody out there is like, okay, I've seen the patios that I love, I can't wait to get my hands on a griddle, they just come to Kent and they just start asking questions and somebody will help them find the right appliance?
We can help them find the right appliance.
Perfect. Or the right patio set or the right chair or the right umbrella.
We can outfit your outdoor space.
I love it. All right, well, we put more information on our website. Of course, you can visit the Kent nearest you.
All right, taking another look at our 3-day forecast, a high of 10 degrees today. We do have a low chance of showers and or flurries across the province. 9 degrees Thursday with showers continuing and a high of 16 degrees on Friday, but more wet weather ahead. For Nova Scotia, 7 degrees today, scattered showers and or drizzle. 7 degrees yet again on Thursday with more wet weather. And on Friday, we end off the work week with wet weather and a warm up to 11. Prince Edward Island, 7 degrees with isolated showers and or drizzle. Mainly cloudy skies on Thursday with a high of 9. Evening showers continue. And then on Friday, showers move back in, a high of 9.
Still ahead this morning, a visit to Little Lorraine. Musician Adam Baldwin's song inspired the movie, and he and one of the film's stars will be here to talk about the movie and what's planned for opening weekend. That's coming up in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic, Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. The time now is 8:28. I want to tell you about the power of social media.
Okay.
Yesterday afternoon, my husband messaged me and he's like, give me a call. I'm like, all right, no problem. What's going on? He's like, have you heard of this film called Little Lorraine? He's from Cape Breton.
Yeah.
So we love thrillers, we love horror movies, all that good stuff. And he was like, this looks incredible. It's coming out. I'm like, well, do I have some news for you? We had Adam Baldwin on the show back when the Atlantic Film Festival was taking place, so we heard about his song that inspired the movie. And I'm like, and we're going to talk to them today, so we'll get you some more information, my love.
I love that so much.
Isn't that funny?
It does look great.
Oh, it looks so good. And he's obviously Cape Breton proud, and he's like, wow. This is incredible, a movie about Cape Bretoners?
Yeah.
Yeah, babe.
Oh, wait, she's dark.
Amazing.
She's dark. It's good. The song itself is like a movie.
Yeah.
When you hear it, you picture a movie in your mind. So it's very, I'm excited to talk to everybody involved about like the vision for the song, how the movie, like, are they what they imagined? Is it totally different?
Adam tells such a great story within that song.
Yes.
So I'm so excited to see what they did with the film.
Totally.
Speaking of Cape Breton, let's take a live look at Protect this hour. It is the shot that is always gorgeous, no matter the weather.
But there's like a zodiac in the water now. That's a hopeful sign of warmer weather.
I hope so.
Yay.
Hopefully they don't have to use it for a rescue. Hopefully that's just for funsies.
Oh, no, that's for zipping around.
Yeah, just for fun. Well, as you can see over in Cape Breton this morning, not too bad. A little bit of sunshine in behind those clouds. We are seeing showers start to end for parts of the region. A bit of a wet start to the day for others, though. 6 degrees right now in Halifax, 2 degrees in Sydney, 6 in Charlottetown with 8 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton, 0 into St. John's, Newfoundland. A bit cooler starting off your day in Newfoundland and Labrador with that wind chill cooling down early this morning, but temperatures will rise there as well, still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs. In terms of our satellite and radar, we do still have some light rainfall, transitioning over to showers and or drizzle for the maritime region. Looking at a bit of flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland early on. That will taper off to a chance of drizzle into the afternoon as well. In terms of our wind forecast, it will be a bit of a breezy day for the maritime region. 31 kilometers per hour in Lunenburg this morning, 28 in Halifax, 26 in St. John, New Brunswick. Wind gusts getting up to 44 in Halifax, 41 in Lunenburg, 37 in St. John. We'll take one last look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first, one last look at your local news with Amanda.
Thanks, Latavia. A New Brunswick official says last week's fuel spill from a tanker truck rollover on a southern highway has reached a tributary of the Hammond River and a nearby wetland. The province's deputy environment minister tells the Canadian press cleanup crews deploy dams and booms to contain the spill. He says crews are removing contaminated soil and using vacuum trucks to suck up the fuel from the water. The province says Seaboard Liquid Carriers Limited was responsible for the April 8th incident. Route 1's eastbound lanes, they're now expected to reopen within days. Our CMP in New Brunswick say they believe a fatal crash north of St. John on Monday was caused by a driver trying to avoid a moose. Mounties say the driver of a southbound vehicle on Highway 7 swerved to avoid the moose, crossed into the opposing lane, and struck a northbound vehicle head-on. A 31-year-old man who was driving that northbound vehicle was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say the driver who swerved to avoid the moose was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Canadians can expect some relief when they fill up on gas next week.
This is a big decision in terms of fiscal expense, and so we balance that given the situation.
The Liberal government has announced that starting Monday, it will suspend the fuel tax on gas and diesel until Labor Day to ease rising energy costs. Aviation fuel is also included. The $2.4 billion measure will save Canadians 10 cents per litre on regular gas and 4 cents a litre on diesel. Here's some reaction here on the East Coast.
That's why I got $15 today. Usually I fill it. Well, I don't like paying it because when you pay that much for your fuel, you're taking from something else, either groceries or another bill of some sort.
This could be particularly impactful for some of our members who are small and mid-sized carriers who operate on very thin margins, helps with cash flow, and helps companies just manage the ongoing volatility in fuel pricing.
It's all in response to the war in the Middle East, where oil shipments along the Strait of Hormuz have largely been at a standstill. Police in Amherst have identified the man who was shot and killed outside a homeless shelter Monday night. 41-year-old Christopher Leggett of Amherst was walking on Prince Arthur Street when a dark-colored SUV pulled up behind him. He was shot once in the lower back and was later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. The suspects are still at large, but police do not believe there's any threat to the public.
This was very clearly a targeted incident where people knew each other. The victim knew his attackers and vice versa.
The shooting happened outside a homeless shelter, but its administration says staff and those staying there were not involved in the incident. PEI's finance minister has tabled a record deficit budget for the second year in a row. Jill Burridge introduced the budget in Charlottetown yesterday with a $410 million deficit, which is the largest in provincial history. It's more than double the $184 million deficit the PC government introduced last spring. The budget includes $269 million in new spending and contains about $321 million in measures designed to help islanders with affordability. A sizable portion of the Halifax waterfront, including the airspace above it, is off limits to the public for the next 10 days. Military officials say the restrictions are in effect near McNabb's Island in the vicinity of Lower Shearwater, although they didn't specifically say why. A news release says, quote, the purpose of these buffer zones is to protect the safety and security of Royal Canadian Navy ships and visiting forces vessels, as well as D&D facilities and defense team personnel who operate within these zones. The airspace restriction is in place for remotely piloted drones. This order is in place until 9 p.m. April 24th. The Professional Women's Hockey League is approaching an attendance milestone in its third season.
Clark's getting a helpful hand here. Salva Lynam, the woman of the night.
The league sits just shy of 1 million fans at games for the first time, with total attendance entering this week surpassing 975,000 attendees. The latest boost came with a sold-out crowd of almost 18,000 fans for the first PWHL game at Boston's TD Garden. The league is averaging more than 9,200 fans a game, up nearly 29% from the previous season, so up a third. Wow. Hope they come back to the region, bring the PWHL takeover tour to the Scotiabank Centre again.
That'd be incredible.
That is great skating right there. Great skating. Okay, here's another person who's proving that age is just a number.
Love these.
I don't believe that number is me. I just can't believe it. I don't feel 90. And that's because of CrossFit.
That's Avril. She's 90. She took up CrossFit to help improve her mobility, and now she's hooked. She's a regular at the gym and an inspiration to the other members. As a birthday gift, the gym gave her a free membership for life.
Amazing.
Isn't that awesome? Look at her.
As they
Love that.
should.
Good for you, Avril.
Love that.
Movement is medicine.
It sure is.
It is.
She's there to keep it, you know, she's inspiring everybody. She's keeping herself young. Shout out to everybody out there who's hitting the gym today.
Absolutely.
Because it's an investment in your health forever.
Even in the rain, taking the gym.
Yep, exactly.
Very true. All right, we're going to talk about events taking place in our neck of the woods for the community calendar. The 52nd annual Radical Speed Sport Expo returns to Moncton this week. From April 16th until the 19th, you have the opportunity to attend Canada's largest high-performance motorsport expo. There will be street rods, street machines, custom cars, and so much more. For tickets, you can head over to radicalspeedsport.com. And direct from Las Vegas, the Australian Bee Gees tribute show is bringing the disco vibes to Charlottetown. The Bee Gees tribute band will take the stage Friday, April 17th at 7 p.m. at the Confederation Centre of the Arts. For tickets, head over to the website on your screen. And follow along the epic improvised Dungeons and Dragons themed show in Halifax. Thursday, April 16th at 7:30 p.m. You can head over to the Roxbury Urban Dive Bar to watch the improv cast bring to life an unforgettable adventure. To learn more, check out their Eventbrite page. And if you have an upcoming event, send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca.
I think that was the most eclectic community calendar we've ever had.
Yeah, I love that Latavia, she digs. She finds the jewels and the gems in our region.
Some days are easier than others, so please send in your events so we can promote them.
Australian Bee Gees cover band?
Right?
Is that on a Saturday night?
No.
Amanda might have a
I know,
fever.
right?
I know. Okay, we're going to take a break now. Latavia's got the forecast. And then, speaking of music, a visit to Little Lorraine. Musician Adam Baldwin's song is now a movie, and it's about to open in theaters. Adam and one of the movie stars, Steve Lund, join us in a few minutes.
The engineers report that it's not good.
Good morning, Atlantic, Canada. The time now is 8:42. We're taking a live look at St. John, New Brunswick. As of right now, it is 8 degrees heading outdoors. Looking a little drier, so we're not seeing any precipitation in your area as of right now. 8 degrees as well in Fredericton, 6 degrees in Charlottetown and Halifax, 2 degrees currently in Sydney, 0 starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline, a bit of sunshine across parts of Labrador. For Newfoundland, looking at a few flurries early this morning, a risk of freezing rain that will taper off to a chance of drizzle into the afternoon. For the Maritime region, dealing with this low pressure system, it's bringing light rainfall for parts of the Maritime region, seeing showers and or drizzle into the afternoon. And then into this evening, temperatures cool back down, still remaining above the freezing mark for many communities though. But we do have another system right in behind this one, bringing showers into our forecast for Thursday. Temperatures will warm up though, remaining seasonal for our daytime highs. So in terms of our rainfall totals, only seeing around 2 to 5 millimeters of additional precipitation for New Brunswick and for Nova Scotia. For New Brunswick today, we are going to see showers and or flurries across the province. Daytime highs between 4 to 12 degrees, wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. And then for Prince Edward Island, a low chance of showers and or drizzle throughout the day today. Across the island, daytime highs will range from 5 to 9 degrees. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. Showers and or flurries early this morning, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon. Daytime highs will warm around 4 to 10 degrees. And for the rest of Nova Scotia, a low chance of showers and or drizzle throughout the day. Daytime highs between 7 to 13. Labrador City seeing lots of sunshine today with a high of 4 degrees in Labrador City. 2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, starting off the day with flurries and a risk of freezing rain, tapering off to a chance of drizzle into the afternoon. So for our forecast tomorrow, temperatures will warm up. We still have a wet day ahead for much of the Maritime region. Showers expected. Flurries will move in Thursday night for Labrador. For Newfoundland, looking at a bit of mixed precipitation expected. And then into our forecast for Friday, ending off the work week. Temperatures warming up above seasonal for much of the Maritime region. But we do have some wet weather ahead that remains in the forecast, Crystal.
Thanks, Latavia. It's 8:44. Now, Little Lorraine is a Canadian movie that was inspired by a song written by maritime musician Adam Baldwin. The film was featured at the 2025 Atlantic Film Festival and is now ready for its theatrical release this Friday. And Sydney Cape Breton is playing a starring role in the opening night celebrations. Here to tell us more is one of the actors from the movie, Steve Lund, along with the man who inspired it all, Adam Baldwin. Thank you both for coming in live this morning.
Thanks for having us.
Very fun to talk about this. It has been making buzz on social media. Latavia told the story about her husband finding it and being like, you'll never imagine this movie, Little Lorraine. And so we're really, really excited to shine a spotlight on it. So let's start with you, Adam. For anybody out there who's not familiar, it's based on your song, Little Lorraine, or The Lighthouse at Little Lorraine.
Yeah.
Give everybody at home like just a quick synopsis of the plot.
Oh, some gentlemen in Louisbourg, Cape Breton, find themselves out of work. They're desperate, and they turn to a life of crime to earn a living for themselves and their families.
Okay, well, that is a very brief synopsis.
Yeah.
I love the crime. It's a juicy crime, though. And And so, Steve, what is the character that you play in this movie?
So I play one of the best friends of the lead who gets approached by his uncle to enter into this enterprise.
Yes, enterprise.
So, yes.
And the Enterprise is, because it's not like it's a big spoiler. People know the song. This ship is going to come with all these coffins filled with cocaine, and then they're going to distribute it and get rich, and their lives will be better forever.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
That's the hope.
Yeah,
but that's not what happens.
There's not much of a movie in that, is there? No.
Yeah. So the song. Personally, when all of us agree that in the studio here, that when we hear the song, it's one of those songs that just creates a movie of the mind immediately. So, Adam, just the actual movie and how it turned out, and then the song, the vision you had when you wrote the song, are they similar? Are they different?
The film Andy had the task of taking a 5-minute song, which is long for a song nowadays, but he had to take a 5-minute story and turn it into 2 hours. And so there are parts of the film that I never explored, certainly when I was writing this song. The ending of this film, I think, is terrific. It's I didn't see it coming.
Yeah,
but, you know, whether or not you've heard the song before is not important. There's parts of this movie that just, you know, if you know the story from my song, there's still things.
Some surprises
Yes,
left.
exactly.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad you said that. That's great, because that's very exciting. And this Andy Hines is a Grammy-nominated director. This was his first big feature film, but it was not entirely, but a lot of it was shot in Cape Breton. I'll ask you, Steve, because you are from this region. Why is it important that that movie was actually shot in our area?
Well, there's no place quite like Cape Breton, so you're not gonna find a lot of those locations that we got anywhere else. And it was so important to the community to have this film shot there. There was so much passion put into it by everybody that could help did help, and it was kind of a real community experience for a lot of people. So yeah, it was very important that it was shot in Cape Breton. There was absolutely nowhere else quite like it.
Yeah, well, okay, I have ties in Cape Breton and from the western side. Cape Breton itself, very varied. Like, it's within the community. It's totally different wherever you go. For viewers that are watching right now, I just wanted to let you know, like, Steve, you're like, oh, I've never seen that guy. Okay, Sullivan's Crossing, Bitten, Schitt's Creek, like many, many movies. For this project, for you, how does it rank on the things that you've done as far as, like, how much?
It's pretty near the top, I gotta be honest. Yeah, I think, like, I've been starved for an opportunity like this my whole career. To do something here at home, to tell a story based on real hard-working, blue-collar types. To get to do an accent, too, was really fun.
Wow.
And just, yeah, I had so much passion for this project and everybody involved. I'm a big fan of Adams as a person and as a performer. So when I saw this audition come down the pipeline, I basically told my agents right away, I was like, there's no way I'm not doing this. I have to be involved. It was great.
Fantastic.
I wrote the part that Steve played. I wrote it for myself. I was really trying to get into this film. But
sorry about that, Adam.
You can see why he made it to the picture and I did not.
But you did make it into this film. Tell our viewers about your big acting debut.
I showed up onto the set and I said, Andy, what am I supposed to do, man? And he said, just don't worry about it. I said, what do you mean? So I riffed the whole thing. I basically just chirped at Steven in the
tore me to shreds, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was an interesting experience. But I was thrilled just to drive into Lewisburg, which is where my father's from, and to see a film crew there, 150 people working on a story that's from that town, and it was that was whatever. Seeing yourself on the big screen is a bit of a trip. My kids got a kick out of it, but I was really thrilled to see all the fuss that was going on in Lewisburg a couple summers.
And the sunny days that we got. Adam was saying when we were shooting the film, he's like, no one's going to believe this was shot in Lewisburg because they've never had such good weather when we were there.
My question was going to be, what was the weather like? Because despite wherever it is in Nova Scotia, generally it's very cold and cloudy and kind of dreary in Lewisburg.
Oh, it was sunny and beautiful every day.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay, well, Cape Breton gets the honor of hosting the kickoff release events. Tell us a little bit more about that. Maybe, Adam, like, how can we see this film in Cape Breton this
week? I'm not even sure that you can any longer. I believe that 9 screenings have all but sold out.
Okay.
But we're throwing a little party at the Member 2 Convention Center this Saturday.
Yep.
2 o'clock till 5. The Men of the Deeps are going to sing some stuff.
They sing in the film as well.
That's right.
Yep.
I'll play some songs. My Uncle Hector's coming out to play accordion, and Amy Smith is going to come sing some songs as well. Some of the cast and producers and things like that will be there to answer some questions.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Cool.
Well, all right, we'll put the information on the website in case you could snap up any of these opportunities to participate in that or see the film. Really quickly, we have actually a little teeny touch of extra time, so I'll ask each of you. Steve, what was one of your favorite moments on set when you were creating this?
Oh my gosh, there was a lot. One thing that I really thought was hilarious was that when you see the film, you'll notice that the three amigos, myself, the lead, and our other actor, are quite tall.
Okay.
And something that might not be very believable for people familiar with this industry is that we're minors, yet we are all over 6 feet tall, couldn't fit into the mine basically very comfortably.
Oh, no.
And also, the locals started referring to the project, once they started seeing us around town, they started referring to the project as models in the mines.
There were so many handsome men on the set of that movie, let me tell you.
Oh, my goodness.
Including yourself, Adam.
Exactly, including yourself. Well, thank you both for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It looks like it's going to be, I can't wait to see it. Haven't seen the movie yet, but because it's going to go into wide release, we can, which is super exciting.
Hand it wide.
Exactly.
Oh, right. Happy birthday to my dear mother today, 70 years young.
Oh, wow.
Love you, Ma.
Wow, happy birthday. Okay, we are good. It's 8:52. We'll take a little break and wrap up the show right after this.
We got smoke, boys. We gotta go.
Okay, welcome back. This is the time we share our responses to the viewer text. They are so unique today.
Oh,
okay.
I love that.
Wide variety. You're blowing my mind. So we were talking about, you know, without saying your age, like something that takes you back for school you used to do. Okay, listen to this one from Larry. Room school, grades 1 to 6, all in the same room. Whoa. We were taught cursive writing, sang O Canada, recited the Lord's Prayer, made to take a cod liver oil pill each day in the winter.
As you should.
I'm going to have more on the cod liver oil in just a moment.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people said that. Wood furnace heat, outdoor toilet.
Wow. Water
provided by a hand pump located in front of the school. I remember the teacher having an ashtray on the corner of her desk.
Wow.
Smoke during class. This is how it was. Rural New Brunswick in the 60s.
In the 60s.
Wow.
I would say it sounds like an earlier time even than that. Wow, Larry.
Know. Anne from Eastern Passage, mimograph.
Oh, it's a mimeograph.
Oh.
I know exactly, but how would you know? It's way before your time.
I'm glad you said that because I was about to say, like, I don't know. She says before the photocopier.
Mimograph, it's a silent copier. Yeah, anyway.
Mimeograph?
Mimeograph, yeah.
Before the photocopier, I love the smell, and I especially loved it when the teacher asked me to make the copy.
Yeah, they think we called that the Gestetner machine at my school, but yeah, that was a very strong smell.
Oh, cool.
Really? Yeah.
Peggy from Mahone Bay, chalk and wooden meter stick.
Yes. Yes.
Michael from New Edinburgh, that wide yardstick ruler with the little handle to draw straight lines on the chalkboard without getting hands.
Oh, I know what you mean, yes.
Or the, do you know this one? The Schaefer pen with the groove above the ink nib to keep your fingers perfectly positioned for cursive.
No, that sounds great.
That sounds handy, yeah.
Dandy handy. Tanya from Halifax, the playground equipment was all metal.
Oh, yeah.
Remember when the sun was on that? Metal slide, merry-go-round, monkey bars, all with no play pads or anything. If you fell on your head, you'd land on dirt and rocks.
I know, and some of those monkey bar thingies were very tall.
They were.
Yeah. Christy from Lower Sackville, I remember the elementary school, the pencil sharpener that was secured to the counter. Those were
I love those.
I used to get in trouble for using it all the time.
Like, your pencil's already sharp. Stop getting up. And then Sherry, cod liver oil capsules. We would line up at the fountain. One capsule would be given to each child. And if you were lucky, you could spit it out and it would go down the little drain hole in 1960.
Oh my gosh, that sounds mortifying.
A few other people mentioned the strap as well.
Oh, geez.
Oh.
Couldn't get to them all. But wow.
Wow, a great topic. We should have to revisit it again.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
See you tomorrow morning.
Bye.